Did he act independently? Is he a solitary figure? On New Year's Day, a vehicle drove into a large crowd at the intersection of Bourbon and Canal Street in New Orleans. I want to discuss this event. But before we dive into that, please remember to click the subscribe button and the like button. Additionally, it's a true celebration as I have reached a significant milestone of 10 subscribers. Welcome to Podcast Talk. It's the LG Experience, and I am your host, Mr. LG. This is where I share my insights on current trending topics. Was he a lone wolf? Did he operate alone? These are the questions the public and the authorities have. And according to authorities, this guy was working alone, but somewhere down the way or along the way, he became radicalized. And people want to know, how can someone become radicalized and become a real radical in their beliefs? In this case, became radical because of ISIS and the ideology of ISIS. And people who follow politics and follow some of the stuff around the world, mostly do because a lot of stuff be in the media. Major news channels cover these type of things, and ISIS was a real problem to Americans and everybody else, particularly over there in the Middle East. They don't really have a big, I guess you can say, a public following like they got over there. They don't have like that rebel type of mentality or move like rebels over here in this country. When they come over here, they pretty much have to blend in and plan different types of attacks. In a lot of these cases, those attacks be the same. Well, I guess you could say similar to the same, because they use cars over there as weapons, and apparently they use it over here too. But over there, they may have some explosives that goes along with the car. In this case, this guy tried to plant some explosives, but apparently that plan didn't go well. But let's look more into this story. As you know, I don't go off a script. I come straight off the hip. And I really appreciate the listens I've been getting when it comes to this podcast, because it is an experience. So let's take a closer look at this story, and we're going to take a closer look at the suspect who was actually killed after the attack or during the attack. And this video out there, and I think it's a very terrible thing to look at. I barely can look at it myself. In some cases, we have to take reality head on, even though we may not want to see it. And it's just the world that we live in. We live in a radical type world, whereas people have their different ideologies. And it's prevalent in most religions, but some of those radicals, they can be deadly. They can be dangerous. They will kill you. That's a fact. It's just a historical fact that it's always been some type of religious war going on in this world. It's been like that. But taking just a small look at this, after mowing down numerous people over a 3-block stretch on the famed thoroughfare while firing shots into the crowd. So this guy went down a 3-block stretch, pushing down on the gas pedal. He just flat out just ran over people. That's pretty much what he did, plowed these people down. And this is actually on New Year's Eve, I believe, going into New Year's Day. Or it probably was on New Year's Day. But he pretty much plowed these people down. Identified by sources as Shamsud-Din Jabbar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Shamsud-Din Jabbar, 42 years old, allegedly got out of his truck wielding an assault rifle and opened fire on police officer. So this was a suicide attack, and he believed and hoped he would get killed. you performing terror attacks like that, people become suicidal. And this is definitely a suicide mission by this guy right here, Jabbar. But what set him off? What set him off? Click that like button, click that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Building this thing, this podcast, brick by brick. So the more likes you click, the more it helps out the algorithm of this channel. But like they said, he got out wielding this assault rifle. So he came there prepared to do battle and pretty much knew he would not make it out of this battle. And according to the FBI, this is according to what they were saying mostly directly after the event. We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible, which means they believe he had help doing this. Duncan said during a news conference Wednesday afternoon, "We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates. That's why we need the public's help. We are asking if anybody had any interaction with Jabbar in the last 72 hours to contact the FBI." So they're going to do their investigations, and that's one of the reasons why they call this a terror act. But once you call it a terror act, especially on this level, it will bring in the FBI. They basically take over the investigation because there were so many casualties in this event. Now, if it had been like one or two people, maybe three people, then the state would have took it over. Why they calling this a terror act? That's when you're bringing in Homeland Security, the FBI, and different government agencies on the federal level. And of course, the president had to come out and say something about this and condemn it, of course. They're going to reach to their operatives over cross seas and see is there any type of connection with this guy, Jabbar. And it's been said that he's been a devout Muslim all his whole life. But that does not mean that all Muslims are radical like that. And when you're talking about Islam, it's different versions of Islam. And some people look at the biblical type scriptures and they get their own interpretation out of it. Jabbar, he appeared to be an intelligent man. He made a video promoting his business. I believe he was in the real estate, but he projected himself as a decent, outstanding, or upholding the law type of citizen, American born, raised in Beaumont, Texas. When he committed this act right here, he was living in Houston, Texas. Appeared to be a very positive person, but behind the scenes, he was going through some things, some personal issues. And when you put up this good-looking image and try to pass off like you're just this innocent person, behind the scenes could be going on. A bunch of things could be going on. In his life, he had went through 3 divorces. That says something within itself. On child support for all 3 of his children. I don't know how many he got, which ones he got by these wives or whatever the case may be. But he had some personal issues going on. When you start talking about child support and all of that, that can be a financial strain on you. So he was going through some stressful times in his life. Few appear to have contact with him in months before the attack. A period of time that has emerged as a crucial black box in which Jabbar appears to have transformed into the man who put an ISIS flag on his truck and posted social media videos pledging to kill unbelievers. That's some of the ideology they preach within the ISIS movement and those radical religious groups. And just because you have these different radical religious groups, that don't mean they all get along. Some of them don't like each other. They got different ideologies and they go about different ways of how they execute their plans. Like some of those groups don't like killing other Muslims, but some groups like ISIS, and they have shown this in the past, they will kill other Muslims if you don't follow their type of ideology. That's a fact. So I know it's Muslims out there, and this guy probably didn't know that, well, he didn't care if any Muslims was out there, so he just believed they were all, all unbelievers in his mind. And they also said he had planned to really try attacking family and friends, but in his mind, that wouldn't be enough of a political statement. When they go out there and do this type of thing, they know people pretty much is in their innocent mode. They catch you off guard. They catch you while you happy, and then they just come plow you down. Literally. In the last year, he posted recordings to SoundCloud and online music exchange in which he called music Satan's voice and proclaimed a sign of the end of times would be when Muslims believed listening to music was not sinful. Yeah, you got some people out there that don't like music and all that, but there's some of them out there, they be out there bumping the rap music and the R&B and the different types of music. Now, investigators are probing how Jabbar became inspired by ISIS and embraced a warped view of Islam that he touted on social media just before the attack, an ideology rejected by Muslim family and friends. So his family and friends rejected this newfound ideology of ISIS. And maybe because he couldn't win any of his court hearings, I'm pretty sure the wives came in there and they pretty much won those cases. It's pretty much, and he probably felt like the justice system didn't work in his favor. Who knows? I'm just speculating at this point. Click that like button and click that subscribe button. Welcome to Podcast Talk. It's the LG Experience. I am your host, Mr. LG, as I give my insights on the New Orleans truck attack. Now, one of the other things they're doing with this case is try to link it to another explosion that happened in Las Vegas with this cyber truck that blew up in front of Trump Hotel. I'm looking up that story right here. So authorities are working to determine whether there may be a link between the New Orleans attack and a Tesla Cybertruck explosion on Wednesday outside the Trump Las Vegas Hotel in Nevada, which is being investigated as a possible act of terror. And they trying to see if there's any type of link to this because they happen around at the same time. And when we talk about this terror, this hasn't been a conversation in America in a while. You know, we all remember, older people remember the 911 attacks, which was a devastating day. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Really devastating. I even been down to seeing some memorial type stuff by traveling out of town and seeing some of the parts of the former World Trade Center. I had a chance to go to New York City and see the new one, or the latest version of the World Trade Center. But that was a terrible day, and we talked about it for years after that. But so much other stuff going on in the world, we haven't been a big focus on terror. So it's going to be big news right now, and they're going to be reaching out to the people that's across seas, the Army bases over there, CIA agents that's over there. They're going to do their homework and see if there's any type of connection. And when these things happen, you know, they go right into their investigations, and one of the things they're going to do is raid your house. They did go raid his house or any other places where you be at. They will raid those places. They're going to look at your social media pages, and they're going to look at what's the connection. What's the connection? How did you get radical like that? You know, and I want to look that up as I'm on here, just to do a little homework and research. How do you become radical? Radical. See, different ways. See, all this stuff is readily and openly on the internet. You can reach out to these groups. They on Discord and different type of places. I'm not promoting what they doing, but you can reach out to these people. You can definitely DM them some messages, but it goes by symbolism and what they preach, and that's my opinion. So you all tell me, do you think that this guy may have used ISIS to really cover up his true feelings, going through these divorces, going through child support, going through financial difficulties? Or did he just all of a sudden just became radical? It can happen. It can happen. You can become radical. If you listen to enough of this stuff, or listen to those messages, you can become radical. I believe he spent some time in Afghanistan back in the day. He's been in the armed forces for some years. He also did a role as a reserve. So he's familiar with how the military work. He's familiar with how the military act. But what would cause him to suddenly become radical? You all tell me. I believe it's a combination of things, but again, that's just my opinion. I'm not the FBI, and I'm certainly not trying to be the investigator. I don't do investigative reporting. I just give my thoughts on current trending topics. That's basically what I do. And I love doing this. I've been doing this for some years, but this is a brand new situation. And I appreciate the likes I've been getting. We're going to keep moving forward. It's coming in small steps, but in order to build success, you got to climb the stairs. There's no elevator. You got to take it step by step. So I appreciate whoever stick with me as I go throughout this journey. And hopefully in the future, people will start advertising with this channel. Prices are cheap right now. Get at me, send me an email. Come on, take this ride with me and take this journey with me. But right about now, I want to give my 2 cents. Take time to enjoy life's simple pleasures. It's in these moments that we often find the most joy. That's my 2 cents. Peace and love, and see y'all on the next episode.